Alright guys, and here we go with part 2 of the new PoE patch. Going with item balance. So divination cards, the locations, drop rates, and requirements for many divination cards have been reworked, in part due to the changes to the atlas in this patch, and part to better integrate divination cards into the areas introduced in the Fall of Oria. So yeah, everything you know about where the cards drop will pretty much change. Life regeneration mods have been slightly renamed and reordered as 2 higher tiers have been added. So new life regen mods. Life regen mods on rare items have been buffed across the board, with the existing highest tier mod now granting up to 20 life per second. Existing items can be updated to these new values using divine orbs. So a little more life regen mods. When used on a belt, Essence of Insanity now grants 10% increased movement speed during any flask effect, up from 5. That's pretty nice. Atlas only item base types can no longer be found in Vol side areas. Unique item balance. We already know about that series Acuity. It basically can't give instant leech anymore, so now it just gives Vol Pact. Nothing really new there. It'll still be good for characters that don't want to, because the node's moving clear down to the duelist tree, so you know, characters that don't want to travel that far to get Vol Pact now can just use this item and still get Vol Pact. And I suspect Vol Pact will still be pretty good, just not as OP as it was. Witchfire Brew now cast Despair. We already knew that. We already knew the Doom Fletch stuff. It's still going to pretty much be the best bow in the game. And Kongming's Stratagem no longer creates a smoke cloud when a socketed trap is triggered. Instead, it grants the Fog of War skill, which creates a smoke cloud when any of your traps are triggered, and it has a cooldown. So basically, one of your traps get triggered, and then it does the Fog of War skill, which also has a cooldown, so you can't just throw a ton of traps and get a ton of fog. Lion's Roar now only grants knockback to melee attacks during flask effect. So to melee attacks. Okay. This is a big one, man. The Lycosidea, I guess. I always call it the Lycan side shield. Chance to drop from monsters has been greatly reduced. That's going to hurt early game. I really like that shield though, so I'm glad they didn't change it at all. They left it the same, just made it a little more rare. And Bisco's collar, chance to drop from monsters, has been reduced. No surprise there. Both of these were super OP items. I mean, this shield you could basically use forever. And same with Bisco's collar, is pretty much a staple in running maps, so you know, it's only fair that they're a little harder to get. We know about the Queen of the Forest stuff, the Rise of the Phoenix stuff. Omen of the Winds now allows Ice Shot to pierce 3 additional targets down from 5. This can be divined. The Dancing Dervish, while Manifest Dancing Dervish is active, the Dancing Dervish now has a 25% chance to grant you a rampage kill when it hits a unique enemy. The minion created by this unique can no longer cross unwalkable gaps. These changes affect all versions of the item. The Pandemonious, the chilling effect now slows enemies by 30% when you are hit, up from 10%. And this affects all versions. The Bear now adds half of your strength to your minions instead of the full strength. This affects all versions of the item as well. Dead Reckoning now correctly replaces a number of skeleton warriors with skeleton mages when using Vol summon skeletons. Death's Oath now properly updates its behavior when items, passives, or skills change it in some way. An Axiom clarified that the freeze duration, not effect, is based on energy shield. The functionality hasn't changed at all. It's basically just a clarification that the duration is on, not the effect. It's on the duration instead of the effect. So, and now for the monster balance. New monsters have been added to all the areas. That's nice. In more difficult versions of parasites found in Act 6 and 7, and Katavified versions of the Blackguards throughout Act 5, so new parasite stuff coming. There's a ton of new parasite stuff. The number of monsters found in areas throughout the campaign has been adjusted, and the number of monsters found throughout the game should be more consistent across multiple instances. This particularly affects the old fields, the Vol Ruins, the sewers, marketplace, the battlefront, Ebony Barracks, and the Crystal Veins, but is not strictly limited to these areas. So basically it's going to be about the same density no matter which map you're in, which is really nice. The following unique monsters are no longer immune to freeze and instead have a minimum action speed that they will be set to if they are frozen. Basically all the bosses, in-game bosses mostly. Yeah. So, no more freezing those guys. Monsters which trigger skills based on the damage they take can now trigger those skills from taking damage over time. So now dots won't save you from their triggered skills. Infested monsters that can spawn parasites when slain now grant increased experience and drops when shattered or exploded to compensate for them not releasing their parasites on death. A lot of new stuff with the parasites, so that's good. The same with shield crabs. Those little crabs that poop out the other little crab things that shoot with their butt. You'll get experience from them, and the Crimson Scholars will also give you additional experience. Monster mods, the reflect physical and elemental damage have been reworked. They now appear as a nemesis mod. Attacking a monster with physical or elemental reflect now triggers a mortal spell targeted at your location, and the spell is a cooldown, so it can't just shoot a ton of them at you if you're hitting it a bunch. But supposedly it's supposed to be just as easy for a melee character to get out of range as it is for a ranged character. I think what they said is it hits the ground at the same time whether you're at range or you're melee, so you know, it won't be like volatile where you just get exploded if you're a melee character and don't pay attention to the volatile mod. Both versions of Reflect now only appear on the Nemesis rare monsters. The effects created by Flamebearer and Frostbearer and Stormbearer bloodline monsters now appear more quickly and should be more clearly visible. That'll be nice. The Roa fight has been significantly changed. Her eggs now explode and create damaging patches on the ground, and she's much more mobile. The monsters spawned by her pods are possessed by more difficult parasites, and she's now immune to knockback. Okay. This was the one I was wondering, because they were doing the physical reflect change, so I was wondering what about the thorns. So the thorns no longer deal a flat amount of reflected lightning damage to the attackers. Instead it triggers a nova of lightning projectiles with a short cooldown. So you won't kill yourself from thorns either. The parasite infesting Hollow Skull, the Willing Host, is now called yeah, that word. Yeah. Encephalange? So, I don't know. And he can now apparently use Leap Slam. Parasites that drop off a slain monster will now match their host's rarity. So when a parasite drops off a magic or rare monster, they'll have that rarity. So I guess they'll probably get their loot tables as well. And experience. Riptide now better signals when it will use its dangerous skills and creates fewer vortexes. Captain Aeteri and Captain Aurelius can now drop items just not very many. Thanks, GGG. Carrion burrows are now visually distinct from their surface-dwelling counterparts. The life and damage of many warband monsters has been adjusted to make them suitable map bosses. The beams in the various reassembled encounter will now have more pattern variations. They also deal less damage, but the damage persists for a duration after you have been touched. And it's the same for Kato the Defiler of Light Encounter. They've got the same treatment. Meligaro's Slam attack in Acts 7 and 9 now always poison and maim on hit. Great. Sulfuric Stridos and Undying Operators can no longer appear in Essence Monoliths. The blood-stained skeletons found in the blood aqueducts have been made slightly more difficult. Effigy of Fear's crows now deal more damage. Improve the Tolman encounter in Act 8. Tolman in the Anik can now use a few extra skills. Oh, great. Katrina missions, which require you to find, raise, and kill an undead monster, now use different on-death effects. Reduce the amount of damage dealt by the Pillars of Carnage rune explosion. Chevron's Ball Lightning in Acts 6 and 9 now deals more damage and has a clearer area of effect. The skill also deals less damage at close range. Chevron's Stormburst in Act 9 now fires an additional projectile. It can no longer stun, and it deals less damage to players at close range. Chevron's Summoned Books now have more life and deal approximately 35% more damage. Hansacottle's Death Worship now deals physical damage with her projectile nova. Her Raging Spirits now deal more damage at lower levels. Garust's Bandits allies now flee when he dies. Dodri's Spirit is now a little quicker at raising zombies in Act 9. Deodri in Act 9 no longer repeatedly summons a large number of stone pillars. The pillars now die when the encounter ends. Significant portions of the Depraved Trinity encounter have been reworked. In particular, Meligaro's Bladefall and Chevron's Ball Lightning have undergone large changes. The damage of Katava's X-Blast, the skill that's shaped like an X, that's probably why they called it X-Blast, has been lowered slightly in Act 10. The Bear Acolytes in Act 6 now move more quickly. Braincrack now has a suite of cracking new skills. Okay, a suite of cracking new skills. Clockwork Golems will no longer simply flee. Instead, they will move around you and to you based on different conditions. Their damage has been increased by 25%. So those little Clockwork Golem guys, that's good because I hated they just ran away. Reduce the damage dealt by the Harbinger of Disorders, Holy Mortar, and the duration of its Holy Spark. The Augmented Dead in Chamber of Sins Act 7 no longer have a chance to launch a lightning soul on death. Dawn can now throw his shield and will explode into smaller projectiles. Dusk has a new projectile skill called Carpet Bomb, and it doesn't make your floors more comfortable to walk on. Somebody started to get bored halfway through the writing of this. The Window Shared monsters in Act 10. The Window Shard, not shared, the Window Shard monster in Act 10 now deal more damage, have more life, and resist all elements. Instead of just cold, they spawn in fewer numbers and are larger. They now have altered behavior to less likely to use their rolling attack immediately. Plague Wretch in the Chamber of Sins now has some friends he can hang out with. Sin and Innocence are now a little more dynamic during the Act 10 finale. The Basilisk now has the Stone Gaze ability. If you face each other during this ability, you become petrified. Petrification is similar to freeze, but is removed if you are hit a number of times or the duration runs out. The Blood-Soaked Fallen and the Blood Aqueduct now explode on death, seeding corrupted blood projectiles in all directions. Tukahama's Vanguards no longer will summon multiple totems at a time when spectered, and the duration of their totem has been lowered to 5 seconds from 10, and they are less likely to place additional totems while they have at least one totem. So basically every 5 seconds they will place a totem, and if that totem's in a bad spot, sorry about your luck. Wickerman Righteous Fire damage has been lowered while spectered. These monsters were using a version of Righteous Fire not intended for specters, and were dealing significantly more damage than intended as a result. This change brings them in line with other specters who use Righteous Fire. So a little nerf on Summoner, but not bad, I don't think. If it's too bad, you just use Solar Guards anyway and kill everything still. So, map balance. The entire atlas has been reworked. Many maps have changed. There's new boss fights. Wow. The rules used to generate monsters and in-game maps have been significantly reworked and rebalanced around the rate at which we expect players to reliably clear out the map. In general, narrow linear maps will contain fewer total monsters than maps with complex layouts. We will be closely monitoring and adjusting this balance of this change and expect to make further changes and improvements over time. But I really liked a ton of monsters in a small space. But it does suck when you get to a huge layout and there's like 3 monsters every like 2 screens or something. Map mods have also been rebalanced, and every mod now provides increased item rarity, increased item quantity, and increased monster pack size, though the magnitudes are dependent on the difficulty of the mod. Maokun. Monsters no longer gain power and endurance charges every 20 seconds, as this was constantly causing performance problems. These monsters now have a chance to gain those charges on hit. The number of monsters that appear in this map have been reduced, but the area now grants an increase to experience gain to compensate. Added a new map prefix. Feasting area is inhabited by cultists of Kitava. Many monsters which appeared in Acts 5 through 10 but did not appear in maps have been added to maps. Great. More variety of monsters and mapping. Map bosses which have multiple forms or phases no longer count as multiple map bosses for the sake of achievements and challenges. Suncaller Esha's Leap Slam ability has been rebalanced and now has a 4-second cooldown. Rektar can now smack around players who are standing too close to walls. Purge Hounds now come out of their gates from further away and will pursue players for longer distances. Water elementals and their variants now appear in packs as a mix of visible and hidden monsters as opposed to hidden or all visible. So there will be a mix now of visible and non-visible ones. The boss of the Death and Taxes unique map now moves 35% faster while immune to damage. Great. Twisted Effigy monster corpses can now be desecrated if you bring one into a map with you. Have a bunch of specters or something running around the Twisted Effigies. Roa map bosses now regain 33% of their maximum life whenever you break one of their nests. Added a pack of magic monsters to the boss rooms of maps that were missing them. Monsters can now appear closer to the entrance in the Obo's Cursed Trove. The Hollowed Ground unique map is now on the Cemetery base type. Makes sense. The passive tree changes. We know Volpact has been moved to the Duelist area. We know this from the videos that they posted of gameplay footage. We knew about the passive skills behind Mind Over Matter, but here's the numbers. 10% down from 12 on the 2 non-notables, and 30% down from 40, and 40 down from 100. So that's not too bad. That's not as bad as I think people were thinking. I think they're still great nodes. They're just maybe not as super powerful. Maybe you wouldn't gain mind over matter now just because of the nodes behind it. I was thinking 20% would have been good, but that's if they kept the plus 100 to mana. But hey, not too bad. And of course the two nodes, the two Hema, whatever the heck it is, and Vitality Void down by the Duelist tree now give 3% life leech rate, maximum life leech rate, instead of 5. But still, like I said, Slayer's going to be amazing still. With these two nodes in Vol Pact, it's going to be just fine. It's going to be even better probably to play a Slayer now. Passive skills, which previously granted increased melee physical damage while holding a shield, now grant increased physical attack damage while holding a shield. It is no longer restricted to melee. Alright, so now any attack that does physical damage while holding that shield, it will increase. Okay. Many passive skills which previously only provided defense bonuses while using a shield now also granted increased physical attack damage and damage with ailments while holding a shield. Man, that's going to be nice. So, man, shield builds are going to be a lot better now because you can grab those shield nodes and get defense and damage. Removed one of the passive skills leading to the Ash, Frost, and Storm notable near the Scion. Ascendancy balance changes. Slayer, the brutal fervor, no longer grants the 10% max life per second to life leech rate. We knew that was coming. Slayer, again, is still going to be amazing with Vol Pact. That's going to be great. Pantheon, the map bosses you are required to defeat to upgrade your Pantheon have for the most part changed. Shikari has been added to the Pantheon. Labyrinth Balance added a new Dark Shrine effect that can only be found in the Eternal Lab. Changed the requirements for some chests to appear. In general, chests should feel more rewarding and better suited for their level and difficulty. Increase the total amount of items found on average from silver chests. That's good. Silver chests might now actually be kind of worth opening once in a while. The helmet enchantment, we already knew that. A barrage is now 1 projectile down from 2. The Xena mods for this league are going to be Anarchy, Bloodlines, Beyond, Fortune Favors the Brave, which it just selects a random one from the available ones. The good thing about this one, it'll also include mods you may not have yet unlocked. And then we're going to have Ambush, which is the extra strong boxes. Domination, which is more shrines, which might be good to try to get that Echoing Shrine, which is a little hard to get for the challenge achievements. Essences and Breach. For PvP balance, remove the level 60 Sarn Arena variant. Players who do not fit the requirements for the level 40 Sarn Arena will be taken to the open Sarn Arena. Characters which have entered the portal to Orioth at the end of Act 4 can no longer join low-level dueling queues. Death's Oath now deals significantly less damage against players and Grandmasters. PvP-only characters can no longer activate the map device. And Bleeding, Ignite, and Poison now undergo PvP scaling based on the attack or cast time of the ailment source. 4 skills with time override. The ailments use that. Okay. World changes. Completing Mercy Mission Quest now rewards players with their choice of a support gem as well as a flask. The Hedge Mage has been removed, And both the Plum and the Trial of Ascendancy have been moved to the Imperial Gardens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hate the hedge maze. Story glyphs have been added to areas throughout Rayclast, but in particular the areas added in Fall of Oriath. The Strange Barrel now contains many more ordinary, non-swarming things. The fuel event in the beacon is now more involved, with extra monster packs spawning during the event. Oh great. Like, who cares? I hate that stupid event anyway. It's dumb. Just put the fuel in and light the stupid thing. Anyway, the Southern Forest, especially in Act 6, has been fleshed out. The Act 6 version can now generate Vol side areas. In the lead up to the depraved Trinity encounter, the heart entrances to Malagaro, Chevron, and Deodre areas stop beating as you defeat the bosses. So now those portals actually do something when you defeated the boss to let you know that you've actually killed that boss. The Templar stat, I wish they would put one of the things I wish they had in that zone was a waypoint right there so you could leave and come back if you needed to, but easier, I should say, like later. You run all that way, it takes forever to run there, and then there's still no waypoint there. The Templar stash in Act 10 ossuary has been renamed to the Sealed Chest. It has been given a new model. Hargan no longer discusses the High Gardens, and talking to him about it is no longer required for the All Ears achievement. Add numerous variations to world areas throughout the campaign. Most areas, in particular areas added in the Fall of Oriath, now have several new possible layouts. Vol's proclamation in the Western Forest is now destroyed in Part 2. You should check it out. It's pretty neat. Going to have to remember to check that out in Part 2 in the Western Forest. Updated the mini-map icons for doors and area transitions that were missing them. Shrines should no longer appear directly outside Tukahama's fortress. Kitava's arena in Act 10 is now called the Altar of Hunger. And Malachi's journal no longer references an incorrect date. And then for prophecies, we have rare monsters able to fulfill the requirements for unique item prophecies have been added to various locations throughout the world. They provide the opportunity to obtain an item with a high enough level to be 6-linked. That is great. Because some of those items, it's like, wow, if only I could get this item and put 6 links on it. You are no longer required to have the subject of a fated unique prophecy equipped, and can now complete such prophecies by merely holding the unique item in your inventory while killing the boss. That is great. On my ranger, when I was playing it, I got the Queen's Decree sword, and I went to go do the prophecy for it, and it was terrible trying to wield that thing and actually doing damage. I ended up just having somebody else come in and helping me kill the stupid thing. So yeah, that's great. And for other prophecies it would probably be even harder. So that's nice, you don't have to actually wear the item now. I always thought it was dumb. Why not just keep it in your inventory? And that's what they're doing. So great job. The prophecy The Twins, which turns a non-twin map into a twin map, will no longer grant the 6% increased quantity of items found. Oh. The prophecy Monstrous Treasure now completes upon opening the final strongbox in the area. Bug fixes. Fixed a lot of typos and mismatches between character dialogue as spoken and as written. Fixed a bug which caused certain chests in the lab, which were intended to drop only jewelry, to instead drop items of all kinds. Fixed a bug which caused earlier levels of the raised zombie skill to display the wrong life values. It does not affect the zombie balance. Fixed a bug where some Vorsi mission requirements would continue to be displayed even after completing or failing his mission. Fixed a bug where turning in a set of Siren divination cards was giving a corrupted whispering ice without the correct 20% quality. Wow. Fixed the bug where the notable practical application granted strength and dexterity as separate rather than combined stats. This does not change the function of the passive whatsoever. Fixed the bug where you could bypass the barrier in Act 7 Chamber of Sins early. Nice. Fixed the bug where Ice Bite could support totem, trap, and mine skills despite it not working on them. Fixed supportability description text of both Ice Bite and Innervate. Fixed the bug where Defiance Notable was granting increased melee physical damage that was not conditional to holding a shield. Fixed the bug where you could leap slam out of General Adius's arena without completing the encounter, also prevented access to the Tarthian powder until General Adius is dead. For good measure. You know what you did, Raze. So yeah, apparently Raze just leapt over, grabbed the powder, and forgot about the boss. Fix the bug with the increased global armor while you have no energy shield stat found on the Broken Faith unique item. This modifier was not correctly applying to armor, which was gained by converting evasion rating to armor with the Iron Reflexes keystone passive. Ooh. Fix the bug with the bonus unique Labyrinth Shrine effect that would cause a huge lag spike when activated. Fix the bug which prevented some monsters from being able to trigger their mines. Fix the bug where tormented spirits could possess the Solaris and Lunaris orbs during the Dawn and Dusk encounters. Fix the bug in some languages where the skill pop-up UI would not properly scale to fit some text fields. Fix the bug where the text on the challenge screen could overlap in some languages. Fix the client crash caused by a low mana tutorial. Nice. Tutorial causes a client crash. Fix the bug where totems with low maximum life values would fail to reach 1 life due to rounding, thus failing to properly disable Righteous Fire. Fix the bug where you could kill Aberrath, the Cloven One, before it transitioned to its later phases. Fix the bug where the gem level up tutorial would incorrectly override other tutorials. Fix the bug where shrines could occasionally be placed in unreachable locations. That's nice. Fix the bug where double-clicking a character with an expired name would deselect the character while you were changing its name. This would prevent the renamed character from being automatically logged in as intended and not change the name on the character select screen even though it had saved the new character's name to the server. Fix the bug where selecting a slot on the Cosmetics tab after switching between the Cosmetics tab and Inventory tab using hotkeys would require an extra click. Fix the bug where modifiers to ailment damage from attacks while holding a shield were applying twice if you weren't using Veristrasa. Wow. Fix the bug where the sextant that grants players instant life and mana recovery from flasks was not actually granting any instant recovery. Fix the bug where removing a static strike skill gem from its socket or doing anything else to disable the skill would immediately trigger all static strike explosions. Fix the bug where enemies hit by Sunder's linear component also unintentionally got hit by the area of effect that it created. Fix the bug where low-level characters in the same league and on the same account as characters engaged in the Shaper questline had that questline displayed on their tracker while in a town or hideout. That's good. Fix the bug where effects that change the size of your character could cause some spells and effects to appear incorrectly. Fix the bug where damage over time effects were not correctly causing some bosses to transition through their phases. That would really suck. Fix the bug where Dodri could kill herself while teleporting if her life was especially low. Fix the bug where the skeleton general summoned by Vol skeletons played the wrong effect as they appeared. Fix the bug where you could continue to channel skills even after being reduced to 0 action speed, such as after being petrified by the basilisk. Fix the bug where the automatically updating public parties tab would turn off AFK mode. Fixed a bug where a Forsaken Master could teleport into a position that blocked access to areas such as doorways. Fix the display duration of Innervation and Arcane Surge on skills which have their own duration modifiers. Fix the bug where the duration of instance and temporal chains applied on hit from items was too short. Fix the bug where attempting to respawn in a hideout where the waypoint was blocked by an object could cause you to disconnect. Fix the life and mana levels overlapping text with the help panel open. Fixed a bug where unique maps which shared a base type with a map that had a boss whose soul could be captured for the Pantheon would be displayed as having that boss. Fixed a bug where Glacial Hammer would sometimes not interact correctly with Herald of Ice's on shatter effect. Fixed some instance of NPC talk options being placed in the wrong category. Fixed a bug where using a war cry while holding Debon's Dirge would ignore knockback avoidance. Fix the bug where despite being untargetable, allied harbingers, and other untargetable entities could trigger enemy traps. Fix the bug where gaining multiple shrine effects of the same type in the lab would stack, wow, rather than replace each other. Fix several instances of skills becoming invisible after leaving and re-entering an area. This includes Kitava's Devouring Darkness. So it's still going to be there now, or you're going to be able to see it rather. Fix the bug where Stormburst explosions were not destroying chests. Wow. Fix some slightly wonky descriptions on the Fortify-centric passive skills. Fix the bug where skills supported by Innervate would call all skill spells in the skill pop-up. Fix the bug where some tightly packed areas, such as the Forsaken Masters areas, would try to and fail to spawn extra monsters like Tormented Spirits and Rogue Exiles. Now they should try and succeed. Great job. Move the Labyrinth, Silver Chest, and other rewards away from walls and lock their rotation. This should prevent items they spit out becoming inaccessible. Fix the bug where the Fell Shrine ruins could generate a Vol side area on the wrong side of the river. Wow. Remove several of 6 old dialogue options that were out of date. Fix the bug where the Grandmasters were only gaining more attack damage from frenzy charges, not general damage. Fix the bug where the Vol runes in Act 2 could generate a pile of extra runes that it wasn't meant to. That's good. Fix the bug where the shield crabs on the boiling lakes did not drop a loot. Fix the bug where the lightning rods in the General Adius and Minotaur fights could be knocked back. The lightning rods could be knocked back. Wow. Fix some audio popping and crackling issues. That is great, because I've had a few of those issues and I've just had to restart my client. It gets annoying when you're like trying to do something and it's like, I don't want to log out right now, but you got this popping and cracking in your ears. That's happened to me a couple times, more than a couple. Fix the bug where the Anik of Eternity and the Teardrop quest items were missized for the size of their art. Fix the bug where players could have more than the number of pets they actually own following them. Fix the bug where French rare names were not always using the correct gender for the... Oh, really? Blink Arrow's behavior and reliability on unusual terrain has been improved. And fix the bug where item hovers would sometimes vibrate. So yeah, some pretty decent patch notes. A lot of stuff beefed up, some stuff nerfed up, but all in all, I think this will be a great patch. I think it'll be fun. So yeah, tell me what you guys think of everything down below in the comments. And yeah, look for the next day or so. I'll definitely be coming out with some more videos to help you guys get started with the new league. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.